Today, we'll learn the differences between a phrase and a clause. But first, I want you to look at these two words, phrase and clause. They may look similar because both of them are groups of words, but there is a main difference between them. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify a phrase and a clause easily. And let's get started. Let's look at this sentence together. The sun rises in the east. Can you find a group of words that has a subject and a verb? Yeah, excellent. The sun rises is the subject and the verb. We have a subject, which is the sun, and a verb, which is rises. So this part is a clause. Now, what about in the east? Does it have a subject and a verb? Of course not. It doesn't. So this part is a phrase. Wow, that's great. A sentence can contain a clause and a verb together. Now let's define what is a phrase. A phrase is a group of words, but it doesn't contain a subject and a verb together. It cannot make a complete sentence by itself. For example, the big house. Can we say that the big house is a complete sentence? No, of course, because we don't know what the big house does. Another example, very beautiful. It gives us information, but it is not a complete sentence. So remember that a phrase doesn't have a subject and a verb. What about a clause? A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. For example, she plays tennis. If I ask you who plays, your answer will be she. And what does she do? She plays. And she is a subject and plays is the verb. So she plays tennis is a clause. Another example. They are happy. They is a subject and are is a verb. So it's also a clause. So simply, what is the main difference between a phrase and a clause? The main difference is simple. A clause has a subject and a verb, but a phrase doesn't have a subject and a verb. A phrase is a group of words without a subject or a verb. Now, let's compare them together. First, the clause. A clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. There are two types of clauses. The first one is an independent clause. An independent clause can stand alone and make a complete sentence. For example, I went to school. It has a subject, which is I, and a verb, which is went. It is a complete idea. The second type is a dependent clause. A dependent clause has a subject and also had a verb, but it cannot stand alone. For example, although I wasn't feeling well. We have a subject, which is I, and the verb, which is wasn't feeling, but the idea is not complete. We need more information. So we say, although I wasn't feeling well, I went to school. Now, let's look at the phrase. A phrase doesn't contain a subject and also doesn't contain a verb. There are different types of phrases. A noun phrase, for example, my best friend. A verb phrase, for example, was working. An adjective phrase, for example, very pretty. An adverb phrase, for example, really slowly. A prepositional phrase, for example, in the books. So always remember that a clause has subject and verb, but a phrase, no subject and no verb. Now, that's your turn. I think you are ready to practice. Let's see if you can identify the phrase and the clause. Give a look at these examples. Is after school a phrase or a clause? Yeah, excellent. It's a phrase. The second example is Ali went home. Is it a phrase or a clause? Yes, excellent. It's a clause. Thank you for watching. I hope this explanation was clear, and I look forward to sharing more teaching experiences. Thank you.